right, guys, welcome back. Got another full round of King Street Kids Q&A. Are y'all ready?
We are
Always
ready.
All right. So question number one. What is the most important book of the Bible? I mean, there's quite a few to choose from. Which is the most important?
That's an interesting one.
Hmm.
That's an interesting because the Bible is really like a library shelf with just all different kinds of books, different genres of books, different purposes for these books.
You're making a case for like all the books of the Bible here.
I know. I don't know.
Hard.
So mine, I guess I would say.
What are your thoughts on Revelation?
That's a good promise at the end.
I think that's one that is less important. But Daniel, why do you think that's important? Because a lot of people think Revelation is very important. Because a lot of people agree with you.
I don't know, maybe important, but I think it's an undervalued book of the Bible. And we did a class when I was growing up about it. And then Pastor Tim from Luther Ridge would always talk about Revelation and kind of just the mystery and kind of, I would say almost like the hidden messages in it. And there's just so much to take in through that book, if that makes sense.
It's got a lot of good promise at the end.
Yeah.
It is.
I would make a case of, I guess I think in terms of if I could only pull one book off the Bible shelf, like if I could only hand off one book, I would probably hand off one of the epistles, one of Paul's letters, probably Romans.
That's a good.
I know the grammar's just atrocious, but probably one of those books, because in that time, Paul was trying to teach Christianity through letters. And so if you're trying to like lay out what Christianity is all about, and you only get one book to do it, I think one of the epistles would be solid, one of the letters, and probably Romans would be the one I'd go with. Kids, you're just going to have to read them all.
Yeah, you should do that.
You should just do that. Yeah. It'll take a while, but you should. Question 2. Okay. So we're not yet back in person. Hopefully soon we will be. But if you aren't able to get your offering in the plate, does it count?
You know, I heard a grown-up ask this question not too long ago. And that's a question that's important for us to answer here. For either boys and girls or adults, the answer is yes. Hey, Daniel, you answer this because you're the one who does this.
Service I raised the plate is to signify the reception of these offerings.
So in the service, you may not get it. So whenever either Pastor or I are setting the table, preparing the table for communion, Daniel is going over to lift the plates up, as we do when we're in person, to lift them symbolically to God, because that's the part of the service when we offer our gifts to God. So we're doing that on behalf.
What makes that offering special or sacred or holy is the fact that it's set aside for a special purpose. And so if you look at, maybe look at your piggy bank and what's inside, or look at a, checkbook at what's inside, the fact of looking at what you have and saying, I'm going to set this much aside for the church to use for the sake of others. I think that's what makes it more special, that someone's thinking of the church out of their own things, that someone thinks of the work of the church. That's what makes it special, not so much it got into the plate and it got lifted up. That I give online. But the fact that I'm thinking to set something aside, I think makes it more special than it making it physically into the plate.
Christy writes we do a check. That's old fashioned. Do y'all know what checks are?
Yes.
Okay, so check. She writes a check, and it's the first one of the month, and so we do it once a month. So we bring it, and it's for the whole month. I always think about my friend Erica, that Jack's godmother, and her. She said this was right after she graduated from Lenore Ryan. She was a teacher. This was in '95. She said she had rent, car, all this stuff to pay as a young teacher. And she said the first thing that she does is she was one who tithed. So she, or I guess still does. She said the first gift that she did each month was to her church, and I thought that was for a 21-year-old. That's always stuck with me. I think that's such a good stewardship lesson. And I just want to say, if any grown-ups are watching, thanks for continuing to give during this time of isolation. It's an important. The work of the church is still happening.
Question 3. So whenever we do our, live stream, our live stream, our WAMs, our King Street Kids Q&A, any of this stuff that gets filmed and sent out, it looks, if we do say so ourselves, it looks pretty polished. So do we ever mess up? Do we have to take extra takes?
No, we never mess up. But do you have proof? Unless you have proof otherwise, Pastor.
Do this. Let's go. Who even keeps track of dates anymore? Honestly, what do you need them for?
I know. Pretty soon I won't be able to count this high. What part?
Well, that's
if we stand right here in this corner with our toes perfectly aligned.
That was the spot, the striking spot. That's where we are. That's blocking.
Wasn't that tragic accident as a child where you lost like 3 toes? Is that why you don't do them?
It could be, yeah.
Giving your red square.
It's at the corner, intersection of King and Vanderbilt.
Oh man.
I was definitely more.
No.
This is one. The more degrees you have, the more trouble you get.
You have successfully stumped the pastors.
That's all, folks.
What is actually in the Alleluia box?
Oh.
No, can you get a sugar glider? How cool would that be? What about a naked mole rat? Could we do that? Or what are those really weird looking skinless, furless cats? Let's do that.
Hey Daniel, we also don't want to scare the kids away from the Children of God moment.
All God's critters have a place in the choir.
Sounds like you got it. I'll do it next week.
So I do it this week.
You do it this week.
Hold on. I'll do it next week if you do it this week.
No, she's good.
No, I need you to do it because I don't want to follow her.
All right.
And so you hit your number. 1, 2, 3, 8. It's a weird voice. So I had to hang up and do it again just so I could hear that. It was classic.
Somebody got really bored. They go like 1, 2, 3,
8. You know. All right.
Third time's a charm.
Here we go. All
Take
right.
3 and action.
To my neighbor's piano the other day.
That hurts.
Oh, I guess we're just gonna call it. Sorry, guys. Piano's out of tune.
It's 2020. Pastor Eric, why do you still pop your collar when you wear like a dress shirt? Why?
Hey, the question here, millennials, is why don't you pop your collar?
In peace, let us pray to the Lord. For the peace from above and for ours. I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm done. We're good.
Now I'm going to have to make more.
Yeah, I guess let me just go ahead and apologize for my chanting on the Wham worship. I know it was rough, congregation. I tried to save you. Eric forced me into it.
Thanks be to God.
I don't even care. I'll take it on.
We swapped the pray. Amen. So Edit that one out.
A reading from
No
Matthew.
women.
Oh.
Edit that too.
He's this incredible drummer, but he's like crazy, like this. And so,
Go in peace. Serve the Lord.
thanks be to God.
So after seeing the evidence, what are your thoughts? Do you need to change that answer?
No comment.
They've all read enough to know I make mistakes.
I'm just impressed by the quality of Jason's keyboard, sound quality of Jason's
Oh.
keyboard. I mean, he hits, we hit potholes, we sit on docks, I mean, and he still keeps playing.
Not since Schroeder from the Peanuts as a little lap piano performed so valiantly. Well done. Good and faithful, sir.
Yeah, you'll have to see where it goes next.
Always good.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if people have questions, where should they send questions in the future?
To Daniel
Okay, there we go.
at smlccharleston.org. We'd love to get more questions. So, all right.
For next week,
Same time, same place. Ready?
bye, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Do it.
That's the wrap.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.